I single-handedly broke up my marriage. You're an awful person.
You're 24 years old. Why would I listen to you? Why would you be giving therapy and advice to people who clearly need it? It doesn't make any sense, Ari. This is a horrible idea.
You're listening to
unlicensed
therapy with Ari Manis.
What'd you do today?
Nothing. I woke up, I had coffee, I talked to my dad, I sent some emails.
Do you and your dad get along well?
Yeah.
Like, as good as you get along with everyone?
Yep. Took a lot of patience on my side.
Why? What's wrong with them?
I mean, everybody's just human, you know? And for whatever reason, I think I have like this ability to just sort of like step back from situations and be like, they're trying their best. We're not recording it, are we?
We could be.
Are we? But, you know, it's great. It's great. Like I've noticed like with pretty much all of my relationships, whether it's whatever, I always feel like I'm all self-conscious, but I feel like I put in a lot of effort. And
with
then
everyone.
Yeah, but then eventually it sort of pays off. Do you know what I mean? Like you have to like sort of break through.
Right.
And the only way to do that's like with patience and understanding, forgiveness, love.
I think I'm a pretty nice guy, but I think there's like 4 dudes where I'm like, they're so nice. They're not going to want to hang out with me because they're just on another level of nice.
Hilarious. But if they really were nice, they'd be like, of course I want to hang out. You know what I mean? Like, by definition, they'd be like, yeah, let's have some laughs.
They'd want to hang out, but then they leave and they go, Ari's kind of a bad person.
No, nice people don't think that. If people think people are bad, then they're not really nice.
Well, like, not bad, but like, he's a little too naughty for me.
No.
Like,
dude, like my best friend's Ari Shafir. Do you know what I mean?
True.
Like, that's my best friend.
I don't know why I never thought about that.
Yeah, and he's like the sweetest person in the world.
But not really.
But really.
Like, he's a sweet, nice guy. He has a good heart.
100% so.
But he's a naughty boy.
Hey, man, we're all human.
Yeah, but
and
there's levels.
But I understand. Like, I think everybody's nice, but people protect it. And then some people can get so lost that they sort of lose that, like the Grinch or whatever. Like, they get so lost that they don't even acknowledge it, but it's always there.
Yeah, I think I'm nice. There's just you, Brenton Biddlecombe.
I love that dude.
Lucas Hurl.
They are good dudes.
You guys are like a next level of kindness.
I think it's easier to go through life that way.
To be kind?
Yes.
It probably feels better.
I tried everything else.
I mean, here's the thing. No one's ever been mean and walked away going, glad I was mean.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Good thing I was mean just now.
Exactly.
But no, I'm never mean. I just sometimes, you know, if there's someone I don't necessarily want to be around, I just am short and move on real quick.
That's not bad. That's healthy.
But I feel like the three of you, I don't know why I can't think of any other examples right now. You three, I guess, are the top of the nice scale.
That's a very kind compliment. Thank you.
Are like to everyone, hey, how are you? Good to, you know, like we'll sit down and engage for 5 minutes. No problem. You'll give 5 minutes of your day to someone.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing.
Yeah.
And maybe it is because it's just 5 minutes, but still.
It is.
I'll take my 5 minutes.
I will say this though.
Yeah.
You see me when I'm at my best. When I have like I need legit alone time. Like you asked me what I did today and I'm like nothing.
You just stayed at home.
I stayed at home, I drank coffee, I texted some friends, I talked to my dad, and I listened to baseball on the radio. Because I need that.
Yeah.
Because I do have that desire to give people my time, and I had to learn boundaries. I'm like, oh, okay, you need to recharge yourself, or else you'll get to the point where you'll just get pissed at people, and that'll make me feel bad.
I'm trying to think if I don't think I've ever seen you piss, but I've seen.
Oh, it happens.
Yeah, I've heard of it happening, but I've never seen it. That's how nice you are. Where people are like, has Steve Simeone ever been mad? And someone's like, I've seen it.
Yeah, people describe it like it's Bigfoot. Like, what? What did it look like?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, dude, I'm a human being, of course. Like, once I went to a Dodgers game, you know, David Deary?
Yeah.
And I was like, I have an aversion to traffic, and he's just laid back. And I'm like, and he was like, just go here. And then it got worse. And I'm like, now I have to turn around. And he loved it. Like, he was like, this is great. I've never seen you pissed. And then I was at the airport like a month ago with Joey Diaz, and our flight kept on getting delayed. Then it eventually got canceled. And then I was flying out the next day. We missed our connecting flight to do a show that night, so the show got canceled. And instead of flying from the city we were supposed to go to, which was Atlanta, instead of flying straight from Atlanta to LA, I bought a ticket to go see my parents because I was already on the East Coast. And then they wanted to put me on a flight that was so late that I was only going to see my parents for 2 days. And then it was only going to be 1 day because the flight they wanted to put me on. And I'm like, this is unacceptable. And I just I kept my calm, but Joey kept on kicking my leg. He was like, calm down, dog. Calm down, dog.
I would expect the opposite to be happening, where you're telling him to calm down.
Yeah.
But
it was great. Yeah. And it was Joey who was like, he's my favorite person. I love everything about that guy. Like, we were stuck at the airport for like 8 hours. Do you have any idea how awesome that was? Like, what a gift that was.
Just hanging out with
Joey.
Joey.
Just hanging out with Joey with nothing to do but listen to his stories.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
like,
just making you laugh the whole time.
Oh, my God. He's got the best stories. Dude, I heard you have amazing stories.
Not really. I have a few interesting chapters in my life. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I'm not full of stories like Joey or Theo.
Those guys have lived 1,000
But I mean,
lives.
well, Theo, are they real stories? I don't know.
Dude, he's one of my all-time favorite comedians.
Oh, he's amazing.
Because he's created his own version of comedy.
That's true.
It's like if he was a musician, he was like, you haven't heard this sound before, and you're like, what is that? It's like the Beatles or something. You're like, it's so unique.
When I watch him, that's the thing. When I watch him do a set, the whole time, because as a comedian, you kind of analyze people while you watch them. It's hard for me. I can't really just sit down and lose it in comedy anymore.
No,
even with Theo. So when I'm watching him, the main thought that's reoccurring is, oh, I could never do this.
It's awesome.
This is something I could never emulate. I could never even try. Like, you could never, no one's ever going to say to Theo, oh, that guy's doing your joke.
No, it's impossible because it's like he's created his own language in a sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's surreal and silly, and then also deeply personal and vulnerable.
Yeah.
And it's just like, whoa, how do you do that, man? It's awesome. It's a pleasure to watch.
Yeah.
I think my niceness weirds him out, though. Like, I remember he was like, he goes, like, whatever.
Well, no one tell me.
Like, I remember when we were in Montreal, he was like, I bet you just have a bunch of dead Care Bears up in your room. I'm like, no.
Yeah, no, I've heard that about really nice people. People like, they're so nice, but, what darkness is in there?
Yeah.
What's the darkness, which everyone's got?
Yeah, which is, I try to put that out there, too. I'm like, yeah, I get angry. My life's not perfect.
You didn't like your dad growing up?
No, I did. It's just that I think the easiest way to describe, like, in broad terms, like, okay, you see people on a surface level, and then there's like and then you go down and you're like, oh, here's the darkness, here's what doesn't work, here's what sucks. And I think a lot of comedians dig to here and they stay in that. But if you keep on digging, it's just love. Yeah. I think if you ever really get to know anybody and really know them, it's impossible not to love them. If you really get to know them.
What if they have a really kind of whiny voice?
Stick to texts.
Yeah, you're like, I want to love you, but your voice is just obnoxious.
Could you just wear this voice modulator?
Would you ever tell someone if they have like really bad breath or BO?
Oh, that's a good question. I remember we had this teacher, Mr. Elias, in 11th grade, or was it? No, it was 10th grade, which is even like one of the worst years of your life. And he smelled really bad. And I was hanging out with these kids that our student teacher called the bozos because we were idiots. And I think it was Alex Camarda bought a can of Right Guard, like old school 80s, 90s style deodorant, and just left it on his desk when he left the room. And we all died. We thought it was the funniest thing ever.
Do you think he got the hint when he sees it even?
I think so. Oh, yeah.
Because people with BO don't really know they have BO, right?
I'm very conscious of BO and bad breath.
Yeah. But someone who
Or I'm always chewing
but
gum
you don't
because-
have a problem. No one's ever said Steve Simeone, oh, watch out, he's got BO. But someone who does,
I think it depends how close I am to somebody. Like I don't break anybody's balls, but I break my dad's balls. Like I will roast him like Don Rickles in '74. Like that's how my family, we break everybody's balls, but I don't break anybody's balls unless I'm so close to you.
got it. So that answers the question. If someone you know has BO or bad breath, you're just taking a step back. You're not going to tell them.
Pretty much, unless I'm like if it was my brother or something, I'd be
Sure,
like,
unless you're good enough friends with them where you're like, hey,
Yes.
dude, take it. Here's a mint.
yeah. It makes me think of that Attell joke on Skanks for the Memories.
What's that, John?
Oh my God, dude, that's what I think probably the greatest comedy album. I can't believe it wasn't filmed, but best comedy album ever, Skanks for the Memories. Where he's like, you can't even be nice to anybody anymore. Everybody's so sensitive. Did you ever try to just offer somebody a piece of gum and they're like, gum? Why do I need it? Is my breath bad? Do I need a piece of gum? Hey, relax. I was just trying to be nice. If I wanted to give you something you needed, it would be mustache wax and a T-shirt that says one cock at a time. The greatest. I love that dude.
Yeah, he's amazing. I like even his latest Netflix special, which is a few years old at this point, but that was one
I
of my
didn't even know
favorites.
Attell had a Netflix special.
Or yeah, I think it was Netflix. It was the one where he did 3 different venues, and he put cameras out to just audience members. He would just hand people like little mini
How do
tripods
I not
to
know this
hold.
exists?
It's really good. It's one of my favorites. So it's cut between him performing at 3 different places, like a different 15 at each venue.
Okay.
But it's kind of guerrilla style as far as the filming goes. He has a
Cool.
couple cameramen, but then he also just you see him do it as he walks up on stage. He just hands someone a camera in the audience, an audience member.
That's
so you're
really
getting all
cool.
these kind of weird shots
That's
that are
fun.
low, not the highest production quality, but it's just
Cares?
cool. Yeah.
It's just cool. It's the experience. I remember my 2 favorite comedians before I started to do comedy. Because I think once you become a comic, like you said, it sort of changes your perspective on things. But they were Attell and Chappelle in the 90s. They were so awesome. And that was
Both
before.
great. One's a better race than the other, but they're both good.
Who are your guys now that you like to watch?
I like watching Theo.
Yeah, me too.
I like watching Santino.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
I like
He is great.
watching Michael Costa.
He doesn't come by this. He's in New York
He
too much.
lives in New York now,
But he's
but
great.
I like watching him.
Dude, he's so cool too. Like you look
Yeah.
at Michael Costa and you're like, that dude's a dick.
Oh yeah, he's tall and handsome.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Fuck you, man.
Yeah. And he's like the kindest, sweetest dude ever. That's a nice guy, Michael Costa.
Nice guy, Fahim.
Awesome. I just saw
Jeselnik.
Fahim's video he did with Melissa,
I didn't even see it.
the dance video parody.
You know him, Melissa Villaseñor did one.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All his dance videos are awesome.
It's awesome, but this is great. Leonard Robinson's in it. Okay, so Fahim, who was the other one?
Fahim, Costa, Theo, Santino, Jeselnik,
Oh yeah,
as far as bigger names. But
Dude,
I
Jeselnik.
just like people who try and push people's buttons.
I
Something
also
about it.
see the genius. He's created this thing that he's bulletproof from everything. I'm like, you're a genius.
Right.
He's another dude, super sweet,
I don't know him
super
at all.
nice guy.
Don't know him at all. He's just
And
kind
maybe
of
the best joke
I'm not-
writer
He's
I've
never
ever
done
seen.
anything. I've never seen him be mean to anyone, but he's also just, maybe it's just his persona on stage, but he's just, a little nervous. I wouldn't want to approach him.
Yeah.
There's a few people that are like that, even Dalia a little bit. Nothing
Yep.
bad about them. They're just
Yeah.
kind of,
They're stars,
I don't
man.
want to go up to them. But it's not even just the stars, just the way they carry themselves are just a little standoffish, but not in a bad way. I get it.
Yeah.
They don't
Oh,
really mess
totally.
with people. But, it's not. Theo has that kind of warm
Warmth.
embrace where
He does.
you think even if you don't know him, you can go up and say hi, and he would be like, "Good to meet you."
Yes, and people do, and
Yeah.
he does.
And those other guys are probably really friendly if you introduce them too, but maybe they're just shy. They're just more shy. That's all it is. I feel like I'm the same way about myself.
I'm painfully shy.
Yeah, I think people watch my set, and most people don't want to come up to me after, even if they really like me, because I put off a similar vibe. And so those big guys where I'm just like, I don't want to, I'm not the warm, friendly type.
I always
you
thought
don't
you
know me.
were. Maybe because I kind of knew.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to think. I don't know if I met you in San Diego or the Ice House for the first time, but I feel like I don't know.
Probably Ice House. I'm from San Diego, but I didn't do comedy there.
Okay.
I mean, I have
never
since.
at the
La Jolla?
no.
Oh, Madhouse. I mean, I've gone there since, but I started in LA.
There was a coffee shop.
Lestats?
Yes.
I did Lestats.
Because I kind of think I met you there before
coulda.
I met you at the.
I have a feeling we met at the store, but
Okay.
I don't remember meeting you either.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Like they're my favorite kind of friends where I'm like,
I've just known you.
I've just known them forever. I don't know.
I don't
how it
remember.
happened.
I don't remember our first meet
It's the best.
because I think certain people will have a meet and then a conversation. I think we met a bunch of times where we didn't really talk.
Yeah, okay,
We
what's
just-
up,
Yeah,
dude?
yeah. So when you meet someone like that, then you don't remember.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
most of my comedy friends are like that because
Yeah.
we're always just all hanging out.
Yeah,
It's like,
there's
hey,
so
how
many
are you? Whatever.
comics.
And then you're like, oh yeah, I remember seeing that dude. And then next thing you know, you're like,
Also, you've been like, how long have you been doing comedy?
19 years.
So you've been around
Forever.
over twice as long as me. And I imagine too, or at least for me, like if I meet someone new, now I have to meet them kind of 4 or 5 times before I even remember them because there's so many people that come in and out of comedy
yes.
where I'm like, I don't take someone seriously as a comic until I see them grinding for
Years.
several years. And then I'm
Years,
like,
'cause it
okay,
takes
they're a
years.
comic.
Yes.
Because how many people have you met? They're like, oh yeah, I've been doing comedy 3 months. I love the store, and then 3 months later, they're completely gone.
You never see him again.
Yeah,
Like one of the things that I find interesting is how many people I've tried to help that just didn't put any of the work in. Like how many people show up, like you said, and they're all gung ho, and then you never see them again.
a lot.
Because like I guess maybe because I'm nice or whatever the word is, I don't know. But since I was a door guy at this store, people would always go, oh, I have a friend that wants to do comedy, or my brother wants to do comedy, or there's a guy at work that wants to do comedy. And I really don't know how many people I've met at the store on a Monday night, explained how the open mic worked, explained how the open mic door guy, this is how our
Yeah.
system is. I don't think anybody's gone 3 weeks in a row. And that's mind-boggling to me. Like, I'm sure there has to have been a few
The
people
potluck?
that I
told them the
personally
deal.
went out of my way and walked them around the store, explained everything.
Yeah, I was gonna say I went twice a week for 2 years in a row.
Yeah, that's us.
Yeah.
Yeah, the people that make it are the people that just keep showing up.
Yeah.
I think like that's the secret to life. You just
Be
keep
cool
showing up.
and keep showing up.
That's it.
Yeah, it's true. I kind of gauge it now. If someone's asking me for advice or how things work, you could kind of gauge it on their questions. Mm-hmm. Like
How
certain
serious
ones,
they are.
or their motives. Like if someone's like, "So how do I get friends and family of the store?" If that's like their first question,
Yeah.
then I'm like, "You're not going to be around in 3 months."
I think the coolest thing about the comedy community, what I love about it so much, is that it's so anti-Hollywood.
Yeah,
That like all the stuff that would get, like if you were an actor or something, like all that fake stuff, people using each other to get stuff, that doesn't play here.
it just
You got to be yourself, bro.
you could people smell it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, if you have someone that's there like trying to get something, everyone feels it, and everyone talks shit. It's gossipy too. Every
Yeah.
comedian go on any car ride with a comedian somewhere. The
Yeah,
whole
can't-
car ride, we're talking shit about someone else.
That's why I try not to, that's one thing that makes me uncomfortable.
Oh, really? So if
Totally
you're in a car
uncomfortable.
and everyone's
Yeah.
talking shit about someone,
Yeah, it makes me uncomfortable.
hilarious. I bet you there's people you talk shit about. Gotta be.
There has to. There are people that drive me crazy.
Yeah.
But I think that's different than talking shit about somebody.
That's
Does that
true.
make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I'll be honest,
Right.
but I won't I don't give a shit what somebody else is doing.
Oh, back to the thing where you won't tell someone they have BO or bad breath.
Uh-huh.
One time, I was dating this girl who had a big bush.
Hilarious.
Like, and bushes are back. I get it, but this was like a jungle down there. It was
was she
sightly.
ethnic?
She was. I mean, she was American. She was from Texas, but she was
It's like using the word ethnic.
Mexican American.
Yes.
So I think she had Mexican family, but she didn't have an accent or anything. Yeah. So she had a big bush, and I didn't have the heart to say. She wasn't my girlfriend. We were just kind of dating,
Yeah.
and I didn't have the balls or the heart to go, hey, I think you should trim.
Yeah, I have to get better at all that stuff. I'm not good with
I
like
mean, how do you do that with someone?
I never want to hurt somebody's feelings.
So, long story short, instead of telling her to shave her bush, I ended things between us.
Get out of here, really?
And
over that?
Was it
over that?
wasn't like that was one of the things, you know.
Okay.
I don't, but yeah, it was over that. But no, there were other. I mean, I don't think we weren't compatible. But that was one thing where I'm like, I don't want to, I don't want to see that, and I don't want to tell her. So
I don't want to see that.
So, but I never told her. But then, and I was 22 at this time, and then I had a friend who had never met her send her a text from his phone saying, "Hey, you should shave your bush."
So just a
random number saying you should shave your bush, and she responded to the text and said, "My boyfriend loves it." And then he responded and he said, "Trust me, he doesn't." And then that was it. And I feel like that's probably mean of me to do that.
Oh, yeah, that's terrible. But it's like an 80s movie.
It was like mean, but it was all I wanted to let her know, because for sure everyone's going to feel the same as me. But I couldn't tell her myself. So I did it in a meaner way.
Yeah. I think there's a way you can do that.
Because I'm a coward.
I think everything's timing, right? It's like stand-up. It's like, oh, now I can work on this. Like, have you ever been on stage? Like, there have been times I'm starting to say stuff on stage now that I tried working out 7 years ago. It just didn't like it.
Like the N-word?
Exactly like that. Nutella. There's moments.
Could you
like when
imagine
somebody
Steve Simeone saying the N-word on stage, even in a joke, or somehow getting away with it? I could never.
I did.
You did?
Yeah, because there was a rumor years and years ago that like when Mitzi would still come into the club and like was mysterious and we were all afraid of her and stuff, you know? Like when I first got to the store, I think I was still doing open mics. I don't even know if I had a door guy job yet. But the rumor was Mitzi said the next person to use that word on stage in a creative way will become famous. So
everyone was trying to do it.
Right.
That's hilarious.
Right.
So there was a chapter.
It was like Willy Wonka put golden tickets in the bars, and everybody started to open up bars.
So there was a chapter of the Comedy Store where everyone was trying to use the N-word in a funny way on stage.
A very brief chapter.
That's amazing.
And I came up with a joke kind of thing, but it just seemed, I remember asking everybody if somebody else had done it because it just came to me too easily.
Yeah.
So I did it like once.
I would love to meet an audience member after potluck during that brief phase, and they walk out and they go, "Yeah, it was a good show." Like,
except for that racist chubby guy from Philly.
More like, but there was like 20 comics who were saying the N-word because everyone's trying to do one.
Well, there was a point in the early 2000s where people would just use that word ironically. Like almost
white guys?
Like almost like verbal skydiving.
Weird. I was not alive.
It was right before. It was kind of like, I'm not being serious.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying this to be so ridiculous.
No one would do that now.
No. Well, I think, the other night at the store, what I thought was really cool was everybody's wearing those like fake Trump hats that said "Make comedy offensive again."
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, I saw a couple of people with those.
And I'm like,
yeah,
dude, we have to start fighting if we don't fight for freedom of speech, nobody's going to fight for freedom of speech.
Oh, yeah. Did you see that whole, that joke on Comedy Central about the rapper?
Yeah.
Or
it's
about
like,
Venmo?
Here's the thing. I try to make my comedy a hug. I really do. I run it through way too many filters because I don't even, it's such a complicated thing that I care so much about. But for me, it's a way. Comedy is just a vessel I can give and receive love, to be honest with you. That's the truth. With that said, I will defend any comedian's right to say whatever they want, especially...
Yeah, you're still a comedy fan.
Yes.
You're a comedian that doesn't do,
And you have to defend the freedom of speech that does offend you. Because if you defend the stuff that you also agree with, then you're not defending freedom of speech. You're defending your point of view.
Have you ever had someone offended at one of your jokes?
I'm sure there has to have been.
But that said something to you?
I'll tell you something that did hurt my feelings. And it is a reason why, like, on my last comedy album, I tried to be a little more, like, I still want the comedy to be a hug and life affirming, and I want people to leave feeling better. But if it's so overwhelmingly positive, I don't want to give people the false indication that my life's always been perfect or whatever. I'm like, no,
you're still
I'm a human being. I've been through darkness. There are things I continue to do that disappoint me, myself, whatever. But one time I was on stage, and then after the show, and it was just like really nostalgic fun. This was probably like 5 years ago. And it was just stories about me and my brothers. And I wanted people... I
remember that phase.
And I remember people to be like, oh, those little moments really are the best things in life.
Yeah.
But
that was your first album, right?
Kinda, yeah. And there's still a lot to my... Like, I was in such a dark place for so many years that there was no joy in my life.
Right.
Like, I was angry and miserable. But in a way, I thought I would get rewarded for that as an artist. Like, I think there is a
I got what you're trying to do, I think. It was like you were trying to, capture these make your set at the time. You're trying to make your whole act kind of like a chapter of your life.
Well, what I was trying to...
A moment.
Try to go, like, if I could see the joy in yesterday, why can't I see the joy in the now? Mm-hmm. You know, and I think that's the cool thing about nostalgia. You just filter things. And I'm like, oh, wait, you can just filter things now. Like, focus on gratitude, focus on the positive, instead of saying everything sucks. I'm like, it's so easy to say everything sucks.
Yeah.
I knew that at 8.
Yeah.
Like, people go, oh, were you such a happy kid? I'm like, no. I knew what was going on. I was very self-aware then. I'm like, oh, my God, people are brutal. But then you can still find the joy. So once after a show, somebody just tweeted at me. They were like, fuck you and your brothers. And I felt bad. Not because... And
do you think they were... Was it malicious, or do you think it was...
No, I think it was malicious.
It was. Okay, because it almost sounds like a joke.
Yes.
Because you're so happy and positive. Like, why would anyone say fuck you and your brothers?
Well, I think sometimes people...
They're mad that they're not... Their life... Something's going on in their life.
Correct.
That's most of the time when you get a hater on the internet.
Oh, or in real life. It says more about them than it does you. So that's when you just have to sort of step back and either completely disengage and be like, this isn't worth my time, or just love them through it. Like, I was talking to...
Did you respond? Did you block them? What was your move?
I think I just blocked them. And I was like, all right, whatever. I'm not gonna give them any more of my energy.
If something happens on my YouTube or my Instagram, I block.
Yeah, it's just
if it's negative. I just want to keep it positive.
Yeah, keep it positive.
But,
exactly.
You know, sometimes I'll get posted on someone else's podcast, or someone else's, my stand-up will get posted on someone else's channel.
Yep.
And then I'll see some of the negativity, and I can't.
That's why I've never posted anything on YouTube. And that's, like, I think I'm just okay with it now, where I'm like, all right, well, people are going to shit on everything. Like, I just started to do all this charity stuff. And
oh, yeah, I've been seeing that.
We'll give a shout out to helpstevehelp.com.
Helpstevehelp.com.
Just give $1. I'm just trying to get people to give $1.
So is this...
They give $1.
Is helpstevehelp.com... So I see it's you trying to do nice things for other people, which is amazing. Is it a charity?
This is what it is. It's so simple. It's just...
Technically, though. Because I feel like this could just be... You're basically starting an unofficial charity.
Yeah. Well, I tried to do something similar a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And then I linked up with this official charity called Regular Hero.
Right. I remember that.
Which I'm still on their board.
Uh-huh.
And it's just like, yeah, man, we just want to help people help. That's sort of like the same thing.
Yeah.
Where they're like, oh, you want to go feed homeless people, but you have $20? All right, well, do you need a ride down them to Skid Row? We'll give you, like, it's just the littlest things, little acts. And Al Madrigal is just an angel. And he was like, hey, man, I've been thinking about the stuff you do. I want to help. He goes, I just want to help Steve help. And he went, ooh, there's a title. And bought the domain name. And
that's nice of him.
Yeah. Oh, and did videos and marketing. And, like, it's only been up for 2 weeks. And we've already raised $3,000 for a mom that lost her son to cancer.
That's great. Is she hot?
That's a very subjective question.
Okay, so
she's got 5 other kids.
She's not hot? Well, she's had 5 kids. Someone thought she was hot.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
And she was always asking me to help other families. She never asked for help herself. So I'm like, you know what? And then I just wanted, because I know she didn't have a car for a long time and was taking the bus to the hospital.
That's 5 kids taking the bus. Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, and then
Not good.
to like it was awful. So I'm like, I gotta help this woman. So I just texted her to check in with her, and I found out that they just had to move, so they needed to buy everything for all furniture and all the necessities for a home with 5 kids.
And are they in Los Angeles?
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
How'd you even meet her in the first place?
she works at the hospital.
Got it. Well, that's great. That's great. You're doing that. My dream charity, if I became rich and successful, I used to do these long distance skateboard trips. I don't know if I told you about those, but like in 2010, I skateboarded from Oregon to New York, and then 2012, I skateboarded from San Francisco to San Diego. So I would do these like long distance marathon longboard runs. And I want to do a yearly event where anyone who wants to do it can do it. And we skateboard from Los Angeles to San Diego. So it would take about 1 weekend.
Yeah,
But then we do it and raise money, obviously.
that's awesome. Have you talked to David Deary about any of that stuff?
I can't remember.
He just dropped in on a
I
vert
saw
ramp
that
for the
video.
first time
Yeah.
and got Tony Hawk and Sal from Pizzanista.
I saw that video.
Sal's full on partner with me on Help Steve Help, and he's the
that's
one.
cool.
He's the one that got me to do it, really, because I was so fearful of people going, "What are his intentions?" or like, "What darkness is he hiding?" or "Why would anybody?" And Sal was like, "Hey, man, you're always going to have haters," and he goes, "You have to think about that mom."
But what
that
could you
needs a car.
if someone's doing a nice thing for someone? I don't see what
I
there's
don't know, man.
possibly
People,
to
oh
hate.
Jesus,
You've actually gotten a hater for Help Steve Help?
I've gotten a few things.
Really?
Yeah.
What did someone say negative about Help? What could you say negative?
I kind of just like don't. It doesn't even register where I'm like, all right. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of a specific example because I think I got like 2 of them or something like that just within the last 2 or 3 weeks. Where I'm like, I don't even. There's certain things. It's like you just don't even let it register.
People are talking about like diversity and sexism in America and equality. I think the real issue is negativity on the internet. I think that might be one of the biggest issues in the world.
I think it's just being cool. I think we're dividing everybody up so much, but there really are just, how can I say this? There are people that are just lost and they're overwhelmingly negative because they're hurting and they're just make things worse. But I think you can turn people like that around to make them cool.
Yeah,
Like-
if you talk to them, if you could actually sit down with them one-on-one.
Yeah, like my hero, there's this guy, he's a Catholic priest named Father Boyle who started that Homeboys Industries. Do you know anything about
Is
that?
Homeboys a skateboarding?
No,
brand?
it
What's
sounds
Homeboys
like it.
Industry?
What they do is they rehab people from prisons and gang members
I've
and
heard of
active
this.
gang members and just bombard them with love and give them jobs because that's all everybody wants. The crazy thing about life is we complicate everything and we just want love and purpose.
Right.
And
Everyone
that's
wants
it.
the same thing.
Everybody wants the same thing.
Decent job, a decent woman.
That's it. A sandwich and somebody to share it with.
Decent
Like
food, yeah.
that's what I figured out life. For me, that's all life is something delicious and somebody to share it with. Because
Okay.
it sucks. Like if you're by yourself and it's like it's not as much fun.
Oh yeah, it's you know how I know it's not as much fun because I'll eat at different places depending on if I'm by myself or with someone.
Yes.
Like if I'm with someone, I'm going, let's go somewhere good and share this experience
Yes.
together. If I'm not with someone, I'm like, I'll just go to Chipotle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Say I don't even cook. Like I know how to cook Italian food, but unless I'm dating somebody, I'm like, what am I going to just
Yeah,
eat?
if I'm gonna cook a big meal, I want someone else to experience.
Yeah, or I'm like, I'll bring it up to the comedy store. Or like I was doing that for a while. Like I would make baked ziti and bring it to the store, or make pizzas and bring it to the store.
Yeah, I miss when Steve Trevino used to have barbecues. In the
That was
parking
the
lot.
best,
that
right?
Was so cool.
We
But
got to
he-
bring that back. You know what? I'll ask Eric about that. Maybe we can use the
Yeah.
Comedians Assistance Fund to throw for a barbecue on
I
Labor
mean,
Day or
yeah,
something.
you would just buy packs of hot dogs. You could
Set
do
up a grill.
You could $50. You could feed everyone at potluck.
Everyone.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna write that down right. Can I do? Is that weird to write it down right now?
That's a good idea. I'll help you.
Because
Whatever you need.
dude, I think that is a great idea.
Yeah, because now Steve moved to Texas, right? Mm-hmm. So someone should bring that back.
Yeah, he's killing it.
Is he?
Yeah.
I
Last time I
haven't
talked to him, he
in a
was
while.
doing great.
He's just headlining on the road.
Headlining on the
dealing-
road, making a great living,
using-
got his wife and
Yeah,
kid in a
family.
normal. Yeah, I'm like, that's what I want.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. It's probably hard to get to that place and then hard to commit to doing that after like going for that LA thing for however long he did and then going, you know what? Fuck it.
Yes.
It's not working out here.
Yes.
I'm making money on the road.
Goodbye. Like, that's
Later.
always been my goal.
That's like a scary thing. It's actually, a courageous thing.
Yeah. Well, the weird thing to me is like people that leave the business like completely or leave LA or somebody like Trevino that's they all, I don't know if Steve has it, but a lot of my friends were like, they always kind of like feel like they're missing out on something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what's it? There's nothing here. Like,
Yeah.
if you have a wife and a kid, like, that's everything.
For me, it's just like sometimes I have fantasies of working a regular job. I don't ever want to quit comedy, but
Me neither.
sometimes I will have a fantasy where I'm like, what would my life be like if
Yeah.
I...
What do you think? What kind of jobs do you think?
It could be anything. Working at an office, whatever the job
Yeah.
is. I don't even know what it would be. Selling computers, whatever
Right.
it is. But sometimes I'll just have that fantasy. But then I think to myself, but then I'll never find out where I would have been in comedy.
Yeah. How many years have you been doing it?
8.
Oh, God. I think that's one of the toughest points in your career. For me, it
Feels tough.
was.
Yeah.
From like 7 to 12 or something was really tough.
Yeah, I think it's the tough for me. It's tough just because you're at the point where you are confident on stage. You know how to do it. I'm not saying you're amazing. I'm not saying I'm amazing or whatever, but I'm a capable comedian.
Yep.
So then you start going, well, why can I do this and this?
Yeah, and you need access to stage time.
Yeah.
Like, the further you progress, the more you need the stage time. Because you're like, you have all these complicated thoughts, and you're like, I know I could connect this and this, and I want to get this out, and this is what I really want to say. So that drove me crazy when I was at your at 7 to 12 years in. And then all your friends start to make it.
Yeah.
And then the other half of your friends quit.
Yeah.
So you start going, whoa, what am I? And then you hit the 12 year and you're like, I got nothing. But now at almost 20 years in, I'm like, I could never quit. Well, maybe that's not true. I was going to say I could definitely go get a normal job, but I'd still want to get up on stage.
Yeah.
Because I think that's sort of like the gym for your brain and creativity. Like, I always get better ideas after I perform.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Right now, if I could just get a normal job, if I had like a little house with a garden.
That's the thing.
That's
the
man.
thing. I'm almost 30.
Yep.
29, and I love comedy and I love what I'm doing, and I'm even scraping by. I'm paying my bills.
Yep.
But I have that thought, man, at what point do I need to start saving for a house?
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Like, at what point do I need to get a job and say, okay, well, I love comedy, but I also
did you ever
don't
see
want to
the,
live in like a 15-year-old independent 15-year-old for the rest of my life.
Did you ever see Seinfeld's documentary Comedian?
Yeah, it was great.
What he tells Orny Adams when he essentially tells him that?
What's he telling? I don't
Where
remember.
he's like-
I've seen it, but
Where like Orny was like, my friends, they're working on Wall Street, they're getting married, they're having houses, they're buying houses, and he was like, that's not your life. We're
Yeah.
comedians. And he told the story about Benny Goodman's band when the plane went down, and they come across that little quaint house, and there's a family in there by the fire laughing, and these guys are dragging their instruments across the field, and they look in, they go, how do they do it? So I always wanted that.
yeah,
life,
it's also
though.
easy for Jerry Seinfeld to say that. He was a millionaire at age 23 or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was, but he was
got successful
early.
fast, yeah.
He was headlining very early. I don't think he was like obviously famous till Seinfeld, but
Yeah.
he was doing just fine.
But
People
what you have to realize is if you're a comic, though, the lifestyle is the reward. I
Yeah.
think that's what he was trying to say.
yeah.
Like, we don't have to wake up and sit in traffic. We don't have a boss breaking
It's
our
true.
balls. When was the last time you wore a tie? Like, if I'm complaining that I have to go work a cruise ship to make money, like, if I were to say that
People
to my
pay
friends,
to go on cruises.
correct.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be stuck on that thing for a week.
People say the same thing would be about Louis. Louis didn't make it until he was, old. I'm like, no, Louis was the head writer of Conan in his 20s.
Yeah, he's been. That's what I think's so funny because of the
People
sacrifices
equate
I've had to pay.
Yeah, fame to success, but they're not the same thing.
Like I was destitute, legit poor for 15 years. And then like you'll read like magazine articles on people. They're like, yeah, he really paid his dues on Saturday Night Live and only could get sitcom writing jobs. I'm like, that is my dream.
Yeah.
And that was like the lean years for people.
Right, exactly.
They only made $800,000 that year. And I'm like, I haven't made that in my life every year combined.
Yeah. It's like hilarious. Adam Sandler.
Dude, he was the trivia delinquent when he was like 18 years old. On
What's the
remote.
trivia
He was a
delinquent?
sketch character. There was a TV show that I loved. It was called Remote Control, and it was all pop culture TV trivia on MTV. And Colin Quinn, I think, was one of the co-hosts. But then they did little sketches, and Sandler would come out as the trivia delinquent. It was before he got SNL. I mean, I've been an Adam Sandler fan forever.
Yeah.
I remember when he was Theo's friend on The Cosby Show. And there was just something, because you know what it was? He looked exactly like my best friend Brian's older brother, Adam. So in my brain,
Yeah,
always,
you
I'm
felt
like,
I know that guy.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's one of those ways. So you've been doing it 19 years.
Yep.
You've probably had a lot of ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
What has been, of all the 19 years, you don't seem like a guy with regrets. But of all the 19 years, of all the auditions you've done, the showcases,
I haven't
the
done
shows,
that much of that stuff. That's what I think so hilarious.
But you don't think you have, because it doesn't feel like maybe for 19 years, everyone always wants to be doing more. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think I've done a lot.
I'm at a point now where I want to do nothing. I'm like, how can I just win the lottery and hang out and have
But what I'm
laughs?
saying is you have done a lot. You're passed at the Comedy Store. You've opened for a lot of people. You've done your own headlining shows. You have albums. You've done a lot of things. So of all the things you've done, of all the things you've auditioned for, what was the biggest failure or regret?
Business-wise?
Comedy, yeah, entertainment-wise, where there's something like, man, I wish I prepared more for that, or I wish I didn't ruin that set. Is what? Nothing.
No. I don't have them.
None.
No, and I think that's where my peace of mind comes from. Like, I definitely don't have the career that I dreamed of. I definitely don't have the life that I've dreamed of. But I also feel like I've done the best with whatever opportunities came my way. And I'm like, whatever, man, it's out of my control.
Yeah.
Just show
That's
up
good.
and try your best. That's it.
That's pretty good.
That's
No
really
regrets?
where I am with that stuff. I kind of, in some ways, I sort of, like, I always, not always. I don't know. Like, I wish I was married and had kids, but I'm like,
That could still happen.
that could totally still happen. But I look at all the girls I've dated and I'm like, ugh.
So, do you have any issues in your life that I could help you with? Is finding love? Is that your issue? Are you single right now?
Single. Yeah. That's one of the reasons why I'm thinking about leaving LA.
Where
Like,
would you go?
I don't know. I've been thinking about that too. Like,
If for some reason, I don't know. I mean, not for some reason. I think I know why. But every time I leave LA, I meet a girl I like. And then but nothing happens because I live
you're
in
not
LA.
there. Yeah.
But every city I'm on in the road, I meet a girl.
Like if I quote unquote make it, if I start making more money, like right now I just make a living and I'm great. There were so many years I didn't, that one of the stand-up topics I really want to develop is that the best thing that ever happened to me is that none of my dreams came true because I really am so grateful that I can go to Ralph's and buy ice cream because I was so poor for so long. I didn't have a car for 5 years. I didn't have, there were times where I had no money for food. So now that, like, I'm doing what I love and I can eat whenever I want to, I'm like, this is awesome. And I don't have to wake up, whatever. But I think if I were to make it, I'd move to San Diego.
San Diego's awesome.
Like, if I even if I was just had a completely full road schedule, I might move to San Diego.
So if you're headlining 30 weeks out of the year,
why not
San
live in
Diego.
San Diego? But then part of me also, I like, just in terms of affordability and actually buying a house, maybe Florida. Like,
So if you became rich and successful, San Diego, but if you came,
and realistically, either Philly or Florida.
but yeah, realistically,
Like,
Philly
I
or
could
Florida.
buy a condo in Florida and a condo in Philly and still spend less money than it would take for me to buy a condo in Sherman Oaks.
Still spend less on your mortgage than your rent is right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, LA's crazy.
Crazy. And I'm like, wait a second, you should just do that. You should get a place in Philly, hang out with your brothers and nephews, get a place in Florida, move your parents in.
You should just start preparing for that dream now. Like, get a condo in Florida, but rent it out.
I would give it to my parents because they're already there. Like,
Yeah,
that's one of the
but
things
I mean,
I'm
so
looking at.
you can afford to do it now.
Yeah, I
almost.
almost did that this year. I was talking to real estate agents and a mortgage broker, but then something just told me that
It's
I'm
a scary
afraid.
thing.
It's a scary thing.
Yeah.
And then also, I just don't think the time. I wanted to see how this year economically paid, because I think we're, and it just might be my inner pessimist, but I think the economy's getting ready to teeter.
Well, according to the timeline of previous things, yeah,
Yes.
we're at
I
that
see all the.
point.
It feels like 2007.
They
to
say
me all
what
over again.
every 10 years
Exactly.
roughly, and it's been 14 or something.
Yeah, I go, this is it. It's gonna, like, I don't want to buy a condo for 180 grand in
I'll say
Florida.
this, you might be right, but it also I have the back of my head where I'm like, I can't just live my life in fear.
It's
of
just
this
about
happening.
timing.
I mean, I think the only time that matters is if you're thinking short term. But
Yeah,
if you're
it's
buying
true.
a condo that you're
It's
going to
true.
keep for 50 years,
It's true.
that you're going to retire in and your parents are going to live in.
But right, you're absolutely right. But if it's like, if it's 180,000 now, and 6 months from now you could have bought it for 60.
Yeah, you're going to feel
you'd
like
blow your brains
yeah,
out. Like I would,
Yeah.
like if I would have went, I could have just bought it in cash for what I put it as a down payment. Could have bought, because things did. I don't think they'll hit rock bottom like they did in 08.
Yeah.
But I had friends that were buying. I think one friend did buy one. Do you know who Jason Lucas is?
I've met him before.
He was on the road with another friend of ours. And I think there was like beach block condos when everything really hit rock bottom for like $25,000.
In Florida?
Yeah. And I'm like,
Whoa.
my God, if I had the money then,
Could you imagine?
I would have been done.
Yeah.
Done. That's it.
See, that's when the rich get richer.
Yes.
Is when the economy is down. Then
Yeah.
all the people with money are like, all right, let's scoop all these good deals up and watch it rise back up.
Exactly. Right. And that's what I kind of want to wait for. Because it's always goes in cycles.
Yeah, I guess it's like you might as well wait because right now it's the highest it's ever been in the history of
Exactly.
life.
And I'm like, a year from now, I might just have to move to just get out of here. So I don't know.
We're going to take a couple calls, voicemails.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's hysterical.
These are people who are calling in for advice.
Oh, cool.
And we got to give it to them. This is from Yakov Kolon.
Great name.
Kolantara. I don't know how to say it. Oh, this is long.
The one thing I haven't been talking about was when I got into an affair with a married woman. She was married at the time, and I was in a relationship with her. She tried to let me go, but I couldn't, and I almost ruined her marriage. Until that day, I have never talked about it to anybody, really. And I really need therapy from that, because for the things I've caused her, it was so painful. For her, and that process of almost getting divorced, and she had to go through that, and it made me sad. And I always wanted to ask, why would I ever do that to a woman who's married
'Cause you're
10
horny.
years older than me? And while I was trying to see her,
If you're a
my
horny
grandma
Russian.
passed away, the closest person that I loved, the person who raised me. I didn't have time for her. When she called me every day, she wanted my help, but I was too consumed into this affair that she passed away, and I never talked to anybody about it. And I really am looking for therapy in that part, because I get emotional and sad, and I cry at certain days, and it makes me very sad because I never had the answers of why I ignored her and why I was chasing after her for pleasure, the married woman, while my grandma needed my help. But I couldn't provide it because I was so self-absorbed into what I wanted. And that is one issue that I need.
All right, I think we get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think no one knows that you obviously didn't know your grandma was going to die.
No.
Obviously, you could live life in regret. Oh, I should have spent more time with my grandma. You didn't know. You were doing your thing with the married woman, getting your dick wet. That's a guy. Should you have been doing that? Probably not. But she's more to blame than you are. She was married, not you.
Right. I would say this. Definitely go see a real therapist because I'm an idiot.
No, I could help.
Okay. This is what I would say. This is my gut. I go, you fucked up. Congratulations. You're a human being.
Yeah.
You did fuck up. And you know what? We all fuck up.
We all fuck up. And luckily,
you learn from it, though.
You really didn't fuck up that bad. You're fine. You're healthy. You're fine.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know what happened with that married woman, if she's divorced now or if she's still with him. I don't know what's going on there. But if it wasn't you, it would have been someone else. You think it was you that caused that? No, she was looking to act out, and you happen to be the one she did it with.
It's great advice.
So just move on, live and learn. You made a mistake.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You recognize your calling, and you know that you fucked up.
It's a good, and I would also say it's probably a good sign that you feel bad about it, because it means that you're not going to do it again.
Yeah, you're not going to do it again. You're not a horrible person.
Right.
You also sound kind of to me like kind of like a nerd, like a guy who doesn't get a lot of girls. So just enjoy the pussy you got for a little bit. The married pussy. It's kind of hot when you go back and think about it. You probably don't get it. You probably haven't gotten laid since. So use that while you masturbate and stuff. We're gonna play
This is a
another
great
call.
podcast.
We'll take another call. This is from Jill Galbraith.
Do they want you to say
I'm
their full
calling
name?
because I love electronic dance
know.
music, and every time I go hard at the club or even just in my car, I wake up the next morning with a terrible neck ache. And I'm wondering if this is something that will kill me, but I'm also wondering if
Kill you?
a life lived without electronic dance music is even worth living at all. So
prank
thank you very
phone
much
call?
for your time,
I don't
and
know.
let me know if you have any suggestions. Bye.
Let's not even answer that. I'm just gonna ignore her. I don't like the call. You're an idiot. This is Vanessa Bassetti.
I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm just super conflicted. I'm $6,000 in debt.
Not that
It's
bad.
impossible for me to make enough money to make up for that.
It's not
But
true.
then how am
Yeah.
I supposed to get my life moving and in the direction I want when I can't even start a savings account because everything keeps going into my debt? I just feel super overwhelmed and feel like I don't really have an answer for once, I guess. So I just feel really lost. Like I feel like I'm just going with the motions and continuing to see the same results all the time. It's just making
Kind of
me
answered your own
insane.
problem.
And I'm trying everything. I'm picking up jobs left and right and doing as much as I can. I don't know. I don't even know where to begin at this point.
I mean, she said right in the call that she's doing the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
And $6,000 really isn't that much.
Nothing.
I mean, it's not nothing, but it's
First off, I'm of the opinion that if
Yeah.
money problems are your problems, you don't really have problems. Like, because I've been really poor, and compared to the problems in the world, it's a blessing. Like, even the poorest people in America still live amazing by world standards, you know?
Yeah.
$6,000, it's not that much money.
in the scheme of things, it isn't.
No.
It may feel like it in that moment. $6,000. I mean, you could do a lot with $6,000, but yeah, I mean, you just gotta, to be honest, you just have to, if you want to get out of debt and build a savings account, if that's what you want to do, which I support and think is a good idea. I don't think people should live in debt. I think you should never let yourself get into debt in the first place. I mean, obviously there's circumstances, maybe you have a health issue or something that causes you to get in debt, but if you
Student loans
if it's
are
not
a
life or
bitch.
death, I think that someone minus student loans you should never take a car loan out.
I agree with
should
you. I drive an
never-
old car.
Yeah, get
I
an
pay
old
my
beater.
credit. I
Yeah.
pay my credit card off every
Full.
month.
It's really easy to do that. But Vanessa if you're listening, $6,000, you just got to chip away at it. So if you're really picking up other jobs and you can't chip away at your debt, then you're living your life too lavishly.
You're living beyond your means.
Yeah.
And I wish we had more facts. Like, I don't know, maybe going back to school so you could get a better paying job would be the answer.
Maybe.
I don't know if bringing on a roommate would be the answer. I don't know if liquidating some of your assets would be an answer.
Yeah.
You know, like there are a lot of different ways to
buy groceries instead of going out to eat. Shop at Ross Dress for Less instead of
cut
Nordstrom's.
out Starbucks. Just don't buy clothes for 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, if you're saying I'm working all these jobs and I can't seem to get out of debt, then something's off with you. It doesn't matter what city you're in.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter how much money you're making too. Until you learn how to live below your means.
Yeah.
Like a friend of mine's a financial advisor who's self-made millionaire. He's the real deal. And he was like, Steve, always remember, it's not what you earn, it's what you keep. And like, he breaks my balls, but he's always like, dude, I'm proud of you. He's like, what? Oh, that's going in the savings? Oh, great. He goes, hey, man, you're living great. You're doing everything right. I'm like, I don't know, man. But it comes down to those basics.
Yeah, I heard a lot of, this is happening to me and I can't get out of it, but I think you can.
Yeah.
But you're just not willing to compromise. And sometimes, not everything's going to go the way you want it.
Yeah, and sometimes like you have to sort of suck it up and like maybe, like I said, moving in a roommate or something like that. It won't seem fun or whatever, but it might be the best thing that ever happened to you.
Yeah, maybe you'll make a best friend. Maybe you'll start a business together. Maybe
Exactly.
you'll become lovers.
Who knows?
That's what I want. I want to start looking for a female roommate that'll become my lover.
There you go.
That could be a good way to meet people because I don't need a roommate.
Yeah.
So
you can be very selective.
I'll trick him into being my woman.
It could be a super hot chick, and then you would just hear her hooking up with other guys, and you cry yourself to sleep.
That's the risk because you can't let her know that you're interested in her while she's moving in. You got to play the roommate game, and then you're stuck in a 1-year lease.
Yeah,
damn it.
I think it's better.
Flaws to the plan. What if I say up top, and they don't have to do it, but I just say as I'm interviewing. So just I am looking for a roommate, but I also want the roommate to be my lover.
Yeah, I think if you're that honest,
and then, you're honest. Works. It's like if she's not interested.
Well,
she moves on. We met. Okay, we went for it. And if she's interested, great.
Yeah.
And you could even
but you could say offer them a
discounted rent, but then it's like at that point
if you could be that
you're
direct,
sugar
you
daddy.
could just do that to every chick that you see. You could just be like, hey, I'm looking for a lover.
But this way, that you could do it.
And then start
true.
with the lover and take the lover and turn it into a roommate. I think that's a much more common approach.
That sounds healthier. Have you ever lived with a woman?
Mm-hmm.
Just one?
Yep.
The last one?
The last real girlfriend I had, yeah.
Was you guys lived together?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and now you don't?
Mm-mm.
Are you guys still cool and talking?
Yeah, we're still friendly. Yes.
That's good.
Yeah.
You seem like the type of guy that's friends with every ex-girlfriend you've ever had.
I try to be, but I think there's a distinction between friends and friendly.
Right.
I'm friendly for sure, but I think it's like.
Have you ever blocked an ex on social media?
No. I try.
You're mature.
I'm always so afraid that like whatever I say, somebody's gonna play it back to me. Like 6 years from now, they're like, "Oh, really? Look at Mr. Happy now." Like, and it's like, "I'll kill you."
I think I've had 5 girlfriends, and I think 4 out of 5 are blocked.
I try not to let. Have you ever read any of the Stoics?
Uh-uh.
Like Seneca or Marcus Aurelius, like those guys had life figured out. And it's like you just sort of don't let your emotions go. Like
at that point, it's me, huh? If 4 out of 5 girls, I'm not talking to anymore. It's something with me.
Yes. Yeah.
That I can't handle a breakup.
Yeah.
All right. I got to work on that.
Yeah, but the breakups are they're always for the better, right?
Oh, no, the breakups are good, but I'm saying the fact that I'm not cool with any of them. Like, I wouldn't even say, I think I'm literally friendly with one of them. If 4 out of 5, if I saw them right now, it would be very uncomfortable. It wouldn't be bad. No authorities would be called.
Well, I think it would be uncomfortable for everybody.
But it would be like, oh, this is weird because last time we saw each other, we were yelling at each other and haven't talked in years.
Okay. See, yeah, I work beyond that. Like, because there's definitely was a lot of yelling with my last relationship. And then we sort of like brought some peace to that.
Yeah. You're a mature guy. Is there anything else you want to share with the world?
No.
HelpSteveHelp.com.
Please. Just give $1. I just want to really see if that works.
Just give $1.
Just give $1, man. Nobody gives $2 anymore.
Well, that's because you say just give $1.
I know.
If you
just
wanted $2,
man.
you have to say just give $2. Just give $2.
I just want to get Bill Burr to cut a promo. He's like, and if you don't want to give, then just go buck yourself. That's all I want. That's all I want from the whole campaign.
Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty doable achievement.
Mm-hmm. He would do it if I asked him.
Does he have a charity himself or no?
No, but
he's definitely at the point where he could have one.
Every time I've needed help, he's helped. Every time we needed a headliner for a show.
He's a nice guy.
And this is good. I have to reach out to Al after maybe tomorrow, but I want to try to get All Things Comedy behind this more because Al said he would do it, and it's just baby steps. It's only been up for 2 weeks, but I got pictures yesterday from Jalen's mom sending me all the stuff she bought with the money. And I was like, okay, this feels...
Did she buy anything where you're like, hey, we didn't get that money for you to get that that fucking top?
No. And honestly, I don't care. Like, that's where I am with... I'm like, hey, man, this is yours. Just go do it.
Hey, I bought this handle of vodka. Hey, that's not why we raise money for you.
That's always the fear. And I'm like, man, I don't care. Whatever people want or need, just let them take it.
Did you see that news story of these people basically did the same thing as a similar thing to you?
With the homeless guy?
Yeah.
And it was all a scam?
Yeah, it was all a scam.
Yeah. Yep.
People are
That
crazy.
was in Philly.
That was your hometown too?
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's why with this, I was like, you can see that the money goes straight to this woman.
Yeah, I could say I've known Steve for 7 years, and if he did that, it would be shocking to not just me, but to an entire community of people, and it could just never happen because he would have to leave his entire life.
Yeah.
So I trust that my buck is going to wherever you say it's going.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know what? If you want to take a little bit of it.
No.
Oh,
here's a question I do need advice with, and it's right on that topic. And this is funny. All right, I'll just tell it. It's not that big a deal.
Just tell it.
But, whenever I walk down the street, I just always expect to find money, and I never do.
On the street?
Yeah, I just giggle to myself. I was like walking by my bank, and I'm like, I don't know why, but every time I walk by a bank, I just always expect to see money. And then I walked another block and crossed the street, and like my gym bag swung a little bit, so I looked at it, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw money on the ground, and I just picked it up. And there were people at a table that saw me pick it up, and that's what's giving me guilt. So these people.
How much was it? Let's start there.
$80.
Oh, that's
significant.
Yeah, I mean, not. Yeah, I mean,
it is for finding money.
It's a nice little score. Yeah,
yeah. That's like lunch wherever you want.
So when you say you're feeling guilty about it, did you just pick it up, put it in your pocket, and run away?
No, I didn't run away. I walked right by those people, and like I gave them a look, and they didn't say anything. But then I saw two girls like a block ahead of me, and I went, they probably dropped it. So I ran up to them, and they thought I was a crazy person, where I was like, did you drop any money? And they're like, they checked their stuff. They're like, no. And then I got home, and I'm like, I guess I should keep it.
Yeah, what could you do? No one's calling the local police station. Did anyone drop off $80 they found?
Exactly.
There's nothing you really could have done.
But I should.
You can't leave it there because
then somebody else is
going to take it. The people who dropped the money aren't going to go back to that spot. Oh, phew! No one took my $80.
Right.
No, you've.
But I should probably just give it to the Help Steve Help, right?
You should keep it.
Really?
No, you should keep it. Those are the few joys in life where, like, you find money and you go, score! I found. Look, this pays for lunch for the week.
Yeah.
Like, those are the little joys in life. You give those all away. I mean, giving always feels nice, too. But you give a lot already. You're doing
that's what I'm trying to balance. Yeah. That's where I need help. I need help in learning how to take care of myself as well as helping others in the process. But and I'm doing that with spending a lot of alone time, to recharge.
You know what it is? You just have to literally set limits.
Yes,
on
boundaries.
how much you could help people.
Yeah,
just
that's what
in
I've been
life.
doing.
So it's like, for example, you're not a rich guy.
Nope.
I know that.
Not at all.
So it's like, how much of your own money are you willing to donate to people? You just have to say, hey, I'm willing to donate 10% of my extra money. You know, I'm not saying that needs to be the number, but but you have to set that ahead of time to where, so if someone says, hey, if you meet someone, they really need help, you go, man, I would love to help you, but I've literally already given away
That's
my
what I'm getting better
charity
at,
for the
all
month.
that stuff. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That, and like, maybe I should spend the $80 on myself.
Oh, for sure. But yeah, I think it's literally setting a limit ahead of time. So that there's no, can I afford to help this person? Can I take the time out? Because it's not even just always money too. It's
that's the
time.
other thing too. Yeah, where I'm like, I have to learn how to budget that stuff. But I am getting. That's what's so cool about this campaign. Like, Al helped, Sal helped, David helped. All these other people are helping.
Yeah.
Because I got lost. Like, I got burnt out like 4 or 5 years ago, where I was just giving 50 hours a week to charity stuff.
Yeah, for like, I can't relate as much as far as charity. I'm not as a charitable person as you or any of these people, but a lot of people do ask me for help on things, like just friends.
Yeah, well, all your social media stuff and all the stuff with Brody, and I like where everybody's get Ari, get Ari.
A lot of people do ask me, and it's gotten to the point where, you know, of course I don't want to say no to people. I don't think many people enjoy saying no on anything. I don't think Adam enjoys saying no to comedians who ask him for spots or to do that. I don't think anyone likes that.
That's
feeling.
why I'm afraid to ask anybody for anything.
Yeah, and me too. I don't ask anyone for anything. It's a bad feeling to say no, but you at some point you have to say, I have this amount of time I could allot to other people.
Yeah,
and I just have to prioritize.
That's what I've been.
The things I'm going to help with.
Right, because now I'm going, dude, I need that alone time to recharge.
Yeah.
I need that. Like, so just recently somebody was like, no. You have to schedule that into your schedule. Like it was a podcast with Ari.
Yeah.
Where you go, no. You're going to the beach on Friday. So if somebody calls you and says, can you do my podcast? You're like, no, I'm already booked.
It has to be, you know, obviously if Joe Rogan asks you to do the podcast, you do it. But you do it. Unfortunately, you just have to weigh the thing that someone that you see ahead of you and go, is this something that I need to take on?
Yeah,
in my
cost
life?
benefit analysis type thing. Cool. Do you want to come to Langer's with me in Meyerowitz?
I am hungry.
Dude,
Langer's is in the Valley?
It's downtown, 6th and Alvarado.
What part of town do you live in?
The Valley. I live in Sherman Oaks.
But Josh lives over here, right?
Yeah, he lives in Los Feliz. So I was like, oh, I'm going to be on this side of the hill. His birthday was on Saturday.
Oh, he moved. Oh, yeah, that's right, because he used to live at Marty's.
Yep. So now I'm going to pick him up, and then we're going to go downtown. Dude, it's the best pastrami.
I've been there once.
Langer's would be a great deli in Philly. The fact that it exists out here is a miracle.
I would love to go, but I'm meeting someone at 1:15.
Okay. See, there you go. That was one of those situations. Real life example of showing me how to have boundaries.
Well, but I literally I would have to cancel on my other boundaries.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for doing the podcast.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah,
this was great.
Thanks for doing it.
Will you come on Good Times? Because I want to hear your military school stories.
I would love to.
Because Randolph was like, oh, dude, Ari's got stories.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I could. Yeah, it's a good story.
Because I want to hear all about it, because I have a friend of mine that went to a military school in Texas.
It's definitely a unique thing. This was in New Mexico, which is right next to Texas.
Yeah.
And it's definitely something where if I meet someone who also did it, we are instantly bonded. And it's just a unique...
You can't put it in the
military.
words.
It's weird because when I talk about it, I don't want... It sounds like... I don't know what the feeling is. I don't like bringing it up because... I don't want to sound, I don't know, like, not braggy, but like,
I know
I've been through it and I don't want to.
Yeah.
But it's definitely unique. Yeah, it'd be a good story for the podcast, for sure.
Cool. And we'll talk skateboard stuff. It'll be fun. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, let's do it.
Dude, thank you so much for letting me hang out.
Thanks for doing it.
Right, bye, buddy.
You're listening to
Unlicensed Therapy with Ari Manis.